Another week and another really good episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I don't know about you guys. The first episode I was like, okay, this was good, but can they keep the momentum? And look, it's only the second episode, but I'm engaged. And Katie, I like Katie, and I'm not surprised that I like Katie because Katie's good friends with Sutton, and we like Sutton, and we like Garcelle. I'm trying to understand what happened between Katie and Heather Dubrow, and I like Heather Dubrow, but Heather, I don't understand why you always have a problem with the minorities. Ooh. Anyways, we will see when we get there, but so far, Katie is bringing the down-to-earthness that I like, the great confessionals. Look, Katie is giving top-tier confessionals. I don't know about you guys. Some of these shows, unless they're like in Atlanta or Potomac, some of the confessionals aren't the most shady. But Katie, oh, she is one to watch. She is one to watch. And I'm glad this episode we got to know her a little bit more. Because a lot of you were asking, what do you think about Katie? What do you think about Katie? I was like, we only got to see a little bit of her in the premiere episode, understandably, because there was a lot of other things for us to address. So, guys, I did take a couple of notes, but I just want to kind of talk about this episode without having to rely necessarily on notes. I will try to on some level, but I just want to talk about it. Can we? Can we? Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget, you can hear an audio version of our live recaps and special episodes on the Kempire podcast. Happy belated birthday to Wendy Williams. Happy belated 60th birthday to Wendy Williams. We were live last night talking about Wendy Williams, her legacy, and a bunch of hot topics. So be sure to check that out if you missed it, along with some other videos of a mashup of other hot topics that we did yesterday. All right, let's get into our Real Housewives of Orange County recap. Be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, and be sure to share if you haven't shared already. Let's get into this.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lady, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. All right, so Real Housewives of Orange County. Like I said, I always wanted to hear from you guys and how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County from 1 to 10. So be sure to let me know what your rating would be. It was a good episode. I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9. Yeah, it was that good to me because I had to keep rewinding back because I also didn't want to miss stuff because there was a lot of stuff happening. And Emily, before I forget, yes, you brought a lot of comedy relief in the premiere episode. And you brought some comedy relief in here. But I felt some of your comments about Jenn felt a little mean. And being funny and being mean are two different things. That's why you got to leave up the comedy to the actual professionals. But some of your comments about Jenn were a little hard to watch, especially when they were having that lunch with her, Gina, and Katie. And Katie was talking about the car. And, you know, Gina's very upset about what's going on with Jenn getting evicted out of the home that she found for her. And Emily makes the comment, oh, you know, take a picture. It might not be there later. Or I forgot her exact words, but you know what I'm saying if you watch the episode. And I was like, that, like the way that Gina and Emily are coming for Jenn and her finances, it's sort of like, Gina, you are coming across very hypocritical because all of us were defending you when Shannon was making snarky comments, not even just snarky comments, mean comments about your drinking, about your DUI, and about how that would affect your children and how your children were almost taken. So your comments about Jenn and her children, it doesn't land well for me, especially because we know how upset and hurt you were about the insinuation that you're a bad parent that Shannon was making. Okay, we'll get back there. See, I told you I was going to jump around, but I don't want to forget certain things, so I want to make sure I say them in the moment. All right, so at the top of the episode, it's the continuation of the phenomenal end of the premiere episode, the fight between Alexis and Shannon. So, Shannon and Tamra have had their issues, as you know. They're currently not friendly. I did see that Tamra posted on social media in regards to responding to the episode and basically said that Alexis's name was not on the cease and desist. I mean, unless, Shannon, you can provide the cease and desist, I really do believe that Alexis did not. She was not involved. I really do believe that Shannon is more upset that Alexis is with her ex-boyfriend. And Shannon, no one would blame you if you just said, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyways, I say all that to say, we then have a conversation about Tamra's friendship with Shannon, and then they share some text messages exchanged between Shannon and Tamra. And Tamra says, I really want to be there for Shannon, but it's hard. And they show the text messages proving that she's trying to be there for Shannon after the whole situation with Alexis and John getting together. Well, Shannon had a whole different story. She says, well, Tamra was in the comment section with applause under this new relationship. See, Tamra, this is where, especially in this moment, when you refer to Shannon as not a very nice person, I said,
lies, the lie.
You better watch out, Tamra, because immediately, as I am shaving my head, I'm watching the episode, and I said, did Tamra just say what I think she said? Tamra, don't get me wrong. I do feel as if you provide necessary, moving things forward in this cast or stirring the pot. I felt like last season you did it too much and we didn't get any of your personal story. This season, we're getting a little bit of your personal story. Even that scene with you and Eddie, it was very little bit about your personal story and then immediately talking about everyone else and their business. Okay. But back to this party. Heather Dubrow always throws a great party. She has all kinds of fantastic things happening at this party. We don't need to talk about it. And see, this is where you're going to have to watch the episode. Stop relying on me to tell you everything that happened at the party. Because it just becomes too much. It becomes arduous for me to talk about every single detail in the episode. But if you want to see the fabulosity of Heather's party, go watch the episode. Okay? But they had different activities that she had in this event. I like anyone that puts detail because I feel like love is in the details, and that's why when they make fun of an event or they do the most at an event, that's why I personally be like, come on, guys, you don't know how much heart or love or attention someone has put into this event, and we already know. Is Heather a Virgo? Because it feels like her attention to detail is Virgo-esque. But for those that are, like, oh no, she's this. Well, look at her entire chart. Her other parts of her chart might be Virgo. But anyways. So Jenn at the party, so we're already seeing the foreshadowing of what's to come in regards to Jenn versus Gina. But Gina's like, I don't want to talk about this at the party. She does have a little bit of a conversation with Jenn about it. But she's just like, let's not do this at Heather's party. Because Gina's working overtime for her orange this season because all of us have been saying, it's time for Gina to go. It's time for Gina to go. Why you keep forcing Gina on us? So Gina is activated this season. All right. So Jenn has a conversation with Katie about being evicted. All right. And she says that she's, her only option really is moving in with Ryan. Okay. I don't know about that, Ryan, but I've been saying that from last season. Ryan doesn't give me the creeps. No, he kind of gives me the creeps as much as Louis Ruelas. Yeah, the kind of maybe because he's not as in the camera or involved in the mess is why I kind of can tolerate Ryan a little bit more. But also, I will say I like Jenn, and I think Jenn has a good heart. Remember, I had to remind myself the things that I liked about Jenn from last season. I thought she was a really good new housewife, and I really feel like she does have a good heart. And that's part of the reason why, like, oh God, I hope you're not with a sleazy man that's going to use and abuse you. Or, I'm just saying. So she's saying that she has to move in with him because of all of her bills. Sidebar, I did see the recent update in regards to her divorce. So they figured out everything in regards to this divorce. And so she's going to get like this lump sum. I don't have the full details in front of me. I wish I could pull it up for you guys. If you, again, Google schmoogle it. But she has finalized her divorce and what she's going to get in this divorce. She's not getting a lot. Her husband seems like he's getting a good portion. I think she's getting like over $200-something thousand in a lump sum. I think she's also getting spousal support and child support. But it's not a lot of money. When we think about some of these celebrities getting like, tens of thousands of dollars in child support, I think she was getting like $4,000 or something like that a month in child support. So she's having a lot of money issues. And I know people were like, well, Gina had her money issues and you guys dragged her. Well, we've been dragging her for like how many years? So she's been on this show even before I even started watching and recapping it. She's been struggle bus for a long time. Speaking of snarks, Travis, whoa, Travis. I didn't know what Travis was dealing with. I just saw the recent update. Shout out to our friends over at Bravo Snark Side. If you don't follow them on Instagram, you should. So I saw the recent update with Travis's situation. I kind of understand why Gina didn't want to live with him. So he recently dropped the restraining order. Look at me remembering stuff. Recently dropped a restraining order against his baby's mother, his ex-wife. And they can't talk bad about each other in public or to the kids. But apparently he can request a drug test. I'm guessing she may have had some issues in regards to substance abuse. So I'm understanding why Gina might need to separate herself. His situation with his ex-wife was tumultuous. But I can understand why Travis was like, damn, my past is still affecting my future. So I get Travis, woo, woo, woo. Look, I can't even do my woo, woo, woo. Like, I got woo, woo, woo. Look, woo, woo, woo. But I'm happy that at least now they've come to an agreement. Okay, Gina, we need you to get engaged and get married and get off our show. Oh, damn. And see. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I digress, but I had to give you the full update, okay? Anyways, speaking of Gina, she's talking about her real estate journey, and she's talking about why she's so frustrated with Jenn because the situation with the eviction of this home that she helped her get, it screwed up another deal that was worth $50,000. All right. We also have another scene with Katie, Shannon, and Jenn going to work out. And this is when I fell in love with Katie. Her commentary about her not working out, it was just so naturally witty and funny that I was like, oh, she's a good one. They found a good one. They found two good ones in the last two seasons. I mean, they needed it because after Noella, I'm sorry, Noella. But it's true. The thirst. But I really do enjoy Katie. Like her commentary in this moment, the fact that she was so vulnerable about her story. I'm like, this is good. Shout out to casting. Anyways, so Shannon, oh God, I have a soft spot in my heart. We all do have a soft spot in our hearts for Shannon. But ain't no good gonna come to you, Shannon, if you drink and drive again. But when Shannon said, look, when Shannon said that, I forgot, it was Jenn who made the comment that, John Jansen is smiling a lot more. And Shannon's like, well, he didn't smile a lot because he wasn't happy with his teeth when he was with me.
Lies! The lie!
Look, just let her believe it, y'all. Just let Shannon believe it. Yes, that's the reason why he wasn't smiling. But ain't no good gonna come to you, John Jansen. You a dirtbag and trash. Look. No, I can't stand that man. and for the way that he treated Shannon. And the way, okay, here I go remembering stuff. So Christian Grey and Vicky Gunvalson have a new podcast. And Gina Kehoe, was on it. And she revealed when John Jansen was, I remember a lot today. The brain is working. Let me take a sip from my coldest water bottle that you can get for a discount with the discount code Kempire 10% off. So Gina Kehoe said, you would swear I had coffee. Nope, natural. Okay. So Gina Kehoe says that when John Jansen was with Shannon, she saw him kiss another woman. She saw him kiss another woman. Look at it. What's on my head? Oh, just a dent. Kiss another woman. Am I surprised? He did not like Shannon. Do I think he'll do this to Alexis? If he did it to her, he will definitely do it to Alexis. And Alexis, you're going to be out here looking like a fool, defending him like he's some sort of saint. Anyways, there was some comedy relief at that party between Shannon and Alexis. Just some funny moments because Shannon was just like, yeah, you need to tone it down, calm it down. That was some funny moments. Shannon is naturally funny. Okay. Anyways, what else did they say during this hike that no one wanted to be? Oh, this is when we found out. This is the foreshadowing of the beef between Katie and Heather because she says she saw her at Sutton's birthday party. And she sort of looked at her and then looked away. I mean, look, I don't know. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. Maybe there was some beef. I don't know. Or maybe she sort of looked and didn't know who that was. I don't know. I'm going to keep an open mind. I'm not one of those people, for those that are new here, I'm not one of those people, just because I like Heather, I'm not going to automatically believe that Heather is innocent and I'm team Heather. No, I'm going to see how this plays out and see how Heather treats the other minority in this group. Just say it, Heather. Tread lightly. Look, tread lightly, because it's giving. Why you always got the problem with the minority? Anyways. Just asking for a friend. All right. So they also unpack Shannon's current relationship with Heather, and Shannon says, I don't know where my relationship is with Heather. Fast forward, I'm just going to talk about it now because the scene was so short. Shannon and Heather do sit down later in the episode to have a conversation about where they're at. And Shannon says that Tamra told me this, that you said this. And then Heather said, well, Tamra told me that you told her that you two should take me down. So all of them are relying on Tamra, who is shown a very stir-the-pot personality. But they do agree by the end of this. And I do appreciate Heather saying, I want you to know that I have held your confidence. I'm not talking about you. I'm not being malicious about you. And I really want you to not to just say that you want to be my friend. I want you to really trust in who I am. I was like, this is a really great way of saying it. I like the way she communicates Heather Dubrow when she's talking to Shannon, not when she saw Katie and looked at her and then turned away. Just saying. But Shannon says that she doesn't, in this hike, doesn't know where their friendship is at, and they do have a sit down, and they agree at the end of the sit down to move forward. Deja vu. I feel like we've seen this before, but we shall see. But Heather says she really likes Shannon. She says, I like hanging out with her. She's a good time. They just never seem to, more so Shannon. And it could be because Shannon, used to live that life and she doesn't live that life anymore. All right. So Jenn brings up the whole Gina situation, and she says she doesn't know why Gina is talking about her rental issue with the group because, Emily had brought it up. And then in another scene, Gina and Emily are talking about the situation and how it's affected her situation. her, this is my new career. She's a real estate agent. At first, I wasn't sure about Gina being a real estate agent, but actually see her in action, I was like, okay, she's not bad. I wasn't sure because I just felt like her personality wasn't giving convincing sales. But I was like, not bad. What's going on with the skincare line, Gina? Just asking. Just because they bring these things on and then you never hear of them again. So she has a conversation with Emily about her issues with Jenn, and they, of course, are talking about Jenn's financial issues. They're like, how is Jenn able, what is she doing? Where is she going to live? She went on social media and revealed that she was evicted. I mean, Jenn, I am kind of giving you the side eye when it comes to your finances and you going on social media, especially knowing the situation that Gina helped you get this place. Look, let's put aside the fact that you don't necessarily like Gina. Let's just put this as if this was you. You were a real estate agent and let me make sense in my head. So you're a real estate agent and your friend, you help your friend find a place, okay? And they do this. And look, things happen. Do I think that Jenn went into this not realizing she'd be able to pay the rent? I think she was relying on her ex-husband, and then he wasn't able to fulfill the rent. She has a lot of kids too, y'all. I feel for Jenn. I don't know if she has a pattern of always not doing what she's supposed to do financially. Time will only tell. But I get where Gina's coming from because this is her career. It doesn't look good. And you're going on social media, making it known that you are evicted. So people are going to connect the dots, not necessarily the public, but people within the real estate industry. Like, didn't you get her this apartment? Or the people that did it, and now she's advertising that she's been evicted. I mean, I get it. In the real world, I understand why Gina might be upset. But Gina, at the end of this episode, and all the things that she was doing, was giving a lot. Guys, if you're just joining us, this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. And don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast, all right? And give us a 5-star rating. Shout out to those of you that have already rated us on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And shout out to those of you that pulled us over the 500 review mark on Apple Podcasts. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. Yep. I noticed that the other day. Yesterday, actually. Okay. Where do I want to go from here? Okay. Let's talk about Katie. So Katie's, hold on. Let me just see. Let me just turn on my notifications, y'all, because people are texting me. All right. Anyways, so the situation with Katie, we get to know a little bit more about Katie. Didn't realize that Katie was married before. She had 3 kids with that marriage. 2 of her kids aren't living with her. I think her oldest daughter is living with her. Her snarky remark about when she got pregnant at 20 and she wasn't a teenage mom, she was just like, yes. I was like, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But we get to see, she's in a new marriage. We found out a little bit during their hike about how she met her husband. She was a journalist. He was a journalist as well, or something in golf. He loves golf. Okay. We see her at home. She has a beautiful home. As we already know, she is friends with Sutton, apparently also Garcelle. So she talks about how she grew up. She was adopted from Korea. Her daughter knows Korean, has learned Korean, is very much in touch with her Korean roots. Katie, not so much. But we got to know a little bit more about Katie and her personal story. Her siblings were also adopted, but they were adopted from Georgia. She was adopted from Korea. All right. But I was sort of like, I had to rewind. I was like, wait, you have how many kids? I was like, how many babies' fathers? But no, she had 3 kids with her first husband. Katie, I look at you and I'm like, you have 3? You have 4 kids? And her youngest is 6. I'm already very much interested, and I like it. It's only episode 2, and we're already getting Katie's personal story. I'm interested. I like her. I like her personality. I like her at home. Not everyone you can go to their home and be interested in what's going on in their home. I like her so far. Sidebar. Um, all right, I'll get back to that. Look, I'll get back to that. All right, moving on. Moving on. Where do I want to go? Okay, so we have another scene with Gina, Emily, and Shannon. Um, they talk about the whole situation with Alexis dating John, and both Gina and Emily are like, "Yeah, Alexis, we have a friendship with you, but we really do not like John, and you are mad at me for something like we know who this is. We've hung out, we've seen, we witnessed certain things over the last few years. You're just getting to know this guy." And I agree with them. But for me in this scene, the conversation between Shannon and Gina, because we've talked about this at the top of the episode, they've had their issues. And Shannon has made some really insensitive comments, especially when it comes to Gina's DUI. So Gina gives her a lot of grace. Some of you are so petty, you would probably never did what Gina did. And she gives a lot of grace to Shannon in this moment and compliments her and says that, I really see that you're working on your sobriety, despite what Tamra is saying. Because Tamra says in this episode that, Shannon's claiming that she's not drinking, but she is drinking. But in this scene, Shannon admits to, hitting rock bottom and drinking again. So she admits it and she gets really emotional about it. I mean, I'm still concerned because in one instance, I feel like Shannon is taking accountability, and I'm wondering if she's taking accountability for the public. And then in another instance, I just don't feel if it's genuine. And I also don't feel like she really is owning the fact that she might have a problem. Again, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but it seems, based on what we're seeing on the show, that you might have a problem and you're still not necessarily admitting it. But you have to get there on your own. We can't force you to admit it. Speaking of Tamra, Tamra and Eddie. Eddie's an interesting one. Every time I see a scene with him, I'm like, interesting. So they talk about Eddie's plans to move to Big Bear. As you know, what was it called? Cut Fitness was closed. That was their big storyline last season. Tamra doesn't see her life in Big Bear. Maybe part of her life, but not full time. Okay. But she's talking about her issues with Shannon, and she says that she can't watch Shannon lie about not drinking. All right. But then it goes from them talking about the Shannon situation to the Jenn situation. So you remember last season, Tamra brought Jenn on the show, and we had our feelings about how Tamra was not a good friend to Jenn, and she was throwing Jenn under the bus almost immediately on the show. I found Eddie's comments because then because he says, Jenn is a hard worker because they're talking about her financial situation. And Tamara's just like, I've been in her situation. Like, she needs to pull it together. It's been 4 years. Pull it together and, get your life together. I think that's easier said than done. You know what I mean? Especially because she has a lot of kids. She didn't really have a lot of support. I don't know how much Ryan support. I mean, now he's supporting her a lot. They live together. They're engaged now. I don't think it's just that easy, and not everyone's made for that. Tamara, you're a different type of personality. Jenn is a different type of personality. Very different. But Eddie says, I feel like she can do it. And I think based off what he's known of her, she'll be able to pull it together. And then Tamara brings up Ryan. Do you think that Ryan is going to be good for her? And he's like, no, he's a liar. I don't know. But when we get to that scene with Jenn at home with Ryan, it's a big, beautiful home. And I forgot, she's got a lot of kids. So that's a real new adjustment for Ryan, who's lived on his, I guess doesn't he have a kid or something? Well, mind you, he's never used a dishwasher. Please understand, if you don't use your dishwasher in 6 years, it's a no good dishwasher. Even if you use your dishwasher once a week, that will keep your dishwasher functioning. So the dishwasher now that he has does not work. You've had it unused for 6 years. It still's got all the packaging stuff in the damn dishwasher. So you are always eating out? Oh, okay. I mean, to each their own. Look, to each their own. All right. Moving on. Shout out to our King's Guards, guys. Don't forget to say hello and thank you to our King's Guards. Shout out to our channel members. To become a member of the channel, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. And I am trying to get, if you can see below, you can either see the House of Kempire merch or Kashava. You can see behind me. We do get a little bit of a commission if you get Kashava. You know I always have my Kashava shakes by my side. Not right now, but normally I have Kashava shakes every single day. It's not just protein shakes. They're meal replacements with quality ingredients. I've been using them for years, and now they have multiple flavors. So be sure to check out Kashava shakes if you can see the link below this video. All right. So Jenn at home. Her parents are visiting. Her parents, lovely. Her kids, lovely. Ryan's home, gorgeous. I was like, oh, but I'm just, concerned. Like, where is this money coming from? When Jenn was asked about what does Ryan do, she was a humming. She's talking about how, he's living like this twinkly life. I'm like, it's giving Tommy. It's giving Inmate Shaw. It's giving Louis Ruelas. I don't want this for you, Jenn. Like, you're already in a bad way right now with your whole eviction and your money problems. And now you're with this man. I'm worried. I like her. I think she actually is a good person. That says a lot, right? But she gets really emotional thanking her parents because she's like, I'm 46 years old and I shouldn't have to run to my parents. You guys are always are like lifesavers in my life. And she gets really emotional. They're like, no, we're here for you. I appreciated the scene, and I know some people are probably going to be very critical of her big grown self having to go to her parents. But here's the thing. Things happen. Divorces are not beautiful. Sometimes they can be disgusting and ugly and rip your finances apart. And I'm keeping and giving grace to Jenn because we don't really know that much about Jenn. And we met Jenn at a point in her life where her marriage was falling apart. She was getting a divorce. Now she's in this new relationship where no one likes him. She's being dragged on reality television by someone she thought was a friend. So I'm trying to give her grace, but I got my third eye look on you, Jenn, because, look, if I see a pattern of behavior, I'm going to say something, but I'm going to give you grace because you deserved it in this moment because you owned that your parents really came and helped you when you felt like you should be helping yourself. Okay? And her parents were like, don't worry about this. This is what we're here for. We're just not cleaning the poop in the yard. Okay. Shannon and Heather, we already talked a little bit about that scene, so I'm just going to skip over it. It was a short scene. Okay? So Katie, Emily, and Gina in this scene, there's not a lot for me to say, but Gina had a lot of funk in her voice when talking about the Jenn situation. Okay. Katie brings up what Jenn mentioned during their hike. And that's where Emily had that really snarky, mean comment about the car. And how, take a picture of the car because it might not be there later, because of the financial issues. And Katie brought up the fact that Jenn didn't like the fact that Emily even knew about this eviction because she believes that Gina's telling the group about this eviction. And Gina's like, no, you talked about it on social media. I didn't have to say anything. So Gina is very upset. And then she says the thing that really bothered me because I was like, Gina, if you of all people to make this comment about her parenting and her. So Gina basically says that Jenn should be more concerned about how she's going to take care of herself and her kids and pay the rent. It didn't land well with me because I feel like, Gina, you didn't like when people were questioning your parental skills. Why would you do that to her? It was weird to me. Anyone else? I mean, I could be wrong. Like, I get why Gina's upset. Don't get me wrong. I get why she's upset. This is your career. But I felt like you were doing the most. Speaking of doing the most, let's get to the final scene where Gina and Jenn sit down for a conversation. Gina again reiterates that she never told anyone about Jenn's conviction. Conviction. Oh no. I hope that wasn't a Freudian slip or a prediction of her eviction because she posted it on social media. She says Jenn needs to learn how to take care of herself and her children. So she not only said this in other scenes to the other housewives, she says it to Jenn's face. And Jenn looks completely like, I did not expect Gina to say or be this way. I didn't either. But remember last season, I got to remind you guys, last season, Gina was doing the most when she found out Jenn possibly had an affair in her marriage. And Gina was like, I can't because that happened to me. And it was like, oh, okay, girl, you're doing the most. And I felt like in this scene, Gina was doing the most. I get why you're upset, Gina, but the theatrics was a lot. So she makes that comment, and then she mentions, this was a funny comment to me. So Gina says to her, why aren't you paying your rent? You're getting your hair and makeup done. You're doing this, you're doing that. Why aren't you paying your rent? And literally, Jenn in that moment just looks flabbergasted, shocked. She looks just winded from what Gina's saying. But in her confessional, she gathered herself together and then she gathered Gina and basically says, what did she say exactly? Do I have? No, I don't have it in front of me. Wait, maybe I do. Hold on, y'all. Let me look. Let me keep my fourth wall in. Oh, yeah, I got it. Hold on. Let me play it for you. Hold on. Let me play it for you. Okay.
You're not paying your rent. You're getting your hair and makeup done. Why aren't you paying your rent? You're getting your threads done. Why aren't you paying your rent? You're at the gym every day. Are you kidding me? Gina, just because my life is falling apart doesn't mean my hair has to fall apart like yours did.
Oh, just because my life is falling apart doesn't mean my hair has to fall apart like yours did. Look. Hilarious. Jenn was activated in that moment. I did not expect it, but I was here for it. I felt like Gina was doing a lot. I feel like Gina was doing too much in that moment. I get your frustration, Gina, but all of this theatrics, getting up from the table, she's not letting me speak, breaking the fourth wall, and then cursing her out as she walks out, it felt so theatrical that I was just like, Gina, I get you're upset. It's not like Jenn, and again, we're watching an edited show. Maybe Jenn said and did things. Who knows? But based off of Jenn's personality, it's not giving that. It's giving Gina was trying to have a moment. She wanted to blow up. She needs something to talk about this season. So here we are. And I feel like she hasn't liked Jenn since last season with the whole cheating situation. And it's so funny that she's the one acting holier than thou when people used to dog you out for so much. I mean, they still dog you out on social media. But I found it to be interesting, Gina's take. Like, I get where you're coming from professionally because I wouldn't like it either. But I do feel like you're doing too much. You're dogging her out. You're talking about her parenting. I mean, in all fairness, though, Jenn, not to say that you shouldn't get your hair and makeup done, but when you have a glam squad and you can't pay your rent, and I get it, you're on a reality show, but that wouldn't sit right with me either. Anyone else? I'm just saying, like, it's giving irresponsible. It's giving your money management skills are questionable. However, she might be in a better spot now. And that's why she's getting her hair and makeup done, because now she's living with her sugar daddy, Ryan, and his $60 million that we don't know where it came from, says the feds. Allegedly. I don't know. What I do know, I was fully engaged in this episode. Everyone brought it. I don't feel like there was anyone in this cast that did not bring it in this episode. Even Tamra. Look, even Tamra. Like, everyone brought something different. Like, there was no one that I was like lackluster, bored. Everyone, I felt like we're giving something. I don't know what Emily's storyline is this season, but she's my comedy relief. Gina's storyline, I mean, clearly there's stuff going on with Travis. I'm sure that's going to play out a little bit more. She also has this issue with Jenn. I feel like she's doing a too much with that. Heather's building a home. Bravo, have you guys started working on that Heather Builds a House series that I was shopping to you guys last week? Anyways. Shannon clearly has a lot going on. I don't mind Alexis. Do I like what Alexis is doing? No, but I don't mind her. I don't mind her, especially because there's really something happening. It's the convenient timing of it all, though. Because when I first heard about their relationship, I was like, is this for a storyline? Maybe, maybe not. We shall see. We shall see. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And don't forget to check out Kashava Shakes, one of my favorite shakes. They even have the new flavor matcha. If you like matcha, they have a flavor for that as well. Be sure to check out everything Kempire, including our Cameo, our mailing list, our Cash App, our Venmos, our PayPal sidebar. I'm starting to see the notifications. I don't know why I didn't see them before. So thank you to everyone that supports the channel any way that you can. But like I said, watching, viewing, sharing, telling a friend to tell a friend is another way to support. So thank you to those of you that support any way that you can. Thank you to our channel members, as I said. And of course, thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down in the live chat and in the comment section. Replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. So be sure to let us know how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. And let us know your thoughts on the episode and the season so far. I know, only 2 episodes, but it's fine. Let's get out of here, guys. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.